All right, so it's made the rounds now around the nation. I'm sure everybody knows about it. Fucking Kerr County, all that flooding. All right. I told David before I started recording, I'm gonna I'm gonna go a little more into detail here. Spent 6 hours at my niece's birthday party today. We had the news on. We were watching updates from it, and all I saw was two things. One, updates on the current storms, which good information, no problem with that. The second thing, they just kept repeating over and over the number of people found dead. Now, Jacob, you worked kind of law enforcement. I mean, it was, corrections, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you, by any chance, know the number of people found alive through all this?
No.
Natalie, do you?
I only know two little girls.
Okay. I know David knows because I told him. Number of people dead currently, found dead, confirmed dead, 43. Tragic, right? And that information does need to get out there. Number of people found alive is now over 850. I think it's important that we get that number out there too. You got to keep hope in these search and rescue people. Hope that they might continue to find people alive. And you got to keep hope for those families that are out there still waiting on word. And I think the media is doing a horrible disservice to those families and those rescue workers by not putting that information out there. And they should be fucking ashamed of themselves. 850 people are back home with their families now because of those rescue workers. And if they didn't have the hope that they might find them, that number would be a lot fucking smaller.
Yeah.
Rant over. How y'all doing?
I agree with you fully. I do think that they need to give hope in time like this because putting everyone down is just going to make the situation worse for everyone.
Agreed.
But the problem is survivors don't make good news stories. Deaths do.
That's true.
So
Tragedy sells newspapers.
Yeah, fortunate.
unfortunately. So
I changed my backdrop again.
yeah.
Second
You're
week
not
in a
sitting
row.
at the table this go around.
Well, I didn't sit at the table last week either. I sat in my recliner.
I'm back to my bedroom, okay?
Yeah, so am I. This is my bed. I'm laying in bed right now.
We're in our living room. Oh, like I said,
I guess that means I brought all of you to bed with me. Okay, cool.
Oh. 2015 all over again.
Oh, good Lord.
I went over to his dad's house and I tripped up.
No, it was my mom's old house, but she had already moved out, but she still technically owned it.
And we were in this room, Josh and I were drinking, and I was so gone that they had to drag me up the stairs. I kept falling. And he had to go put me in his mom's bed. It's just like there with the door open in case I got.
It was during the whole Brett situation. Yeah. Jacob.
He doesn't.
She was having a rough night, so.
That was the night that Brett got dragged out by his hair from the bar because he put his hands on me. He didn't hit me.
So Natalie is now a toddler.
Okay, I'm the mature one. Don't give me that face.
That's debatable.
I'm gonna go with the one with the gray hair and his beard.
He's younger than me.
Not much.
A year and a half only, but yeah.
This is the first time you three have all talked. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
Natalie and Jacob talk every fucking day, but
He works a lot.
Oh God, yeah.
yeah,
People are saying.
yeah, but
Not like me.
Yeah. Still.
Hey, at least you ain't having to do what Dakota's about to have to do.
Hey,
Was it
what?
driving to what, Leander every day?
Oh yeah, 1 hour 43 minutes one way.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half to his shop, and then usually 2 hours to the rig. He's on the road. He drives over
I
1,000 miles a day.
Yeah, I drive 90% of the time just to be out on
He cared.
station for 30 minutes, maybe.
Hey, you care to mention what Life 360 says about your driving?
He's a risky driver.
I honestly don't care what it says.
So,
You
David,
say
just
that.
to fill you in,
He's safe when it's never me driving.
I know. So I'm in Life 360 with these two. All right. I know when it's Jacob driving versus when it's Natalie driving
It's never
because
me.
it pops up and says that it was a risky drive
Yeah, risky.
when Jacob is driving.
See, I mean, I've got you on, Find My Friend, but it doesn't give all that. I've got 360, but I just use it for my uncle and aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah. Natalie added me to it last week, and I was scrolling through, and it was like risky drive, risky drive, risky drive, normal drive. I know when Natalie was driving.
yeah,
I'm driving my van over.
Yeah.
see, here's the funny thing is that my, that's opposite for me, my wife. My wife would be the risky driver, and I would be the,
The safe one.
probably.
Yeah, Life 360 is not accurate on the speed, though.
Oh, it'll say he's going 90. He's going 45.
I'll be going, because my cruise speed is like 78.
Yeah.
And she'll have me on Life 360 and she'll text me, "Why are you going 90? I'm not. I was like, I'll take a picture of my speedometer and send it to her where it says the cruise speed, and she'll be like, "Oh, well, it's telling me you're going this fast." I was like, "Don't listen to that shit."
Lord.
So I think this will be fun. David, you know what you talked about last week, right?
The ghost stories?
Jacob has a few.
Yeah, I do. You can open the door.
Let's do it, Jacob. Come on. People want to hear them.
Oh, okay.
The numbers said so.
The numbers.
Yeah, the analytics on last week. It was when you put together the episode and then the two shorts that I uploaded, it was our best episode ever.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Got the most views.
Well, how many
Oh, wow.
and which ones?
So most of them were on one short, but like I said, when you add it all together, if you add everything else together, that was still our best one. Let me see. So our first episode had 10 views. Second episode had 10 views. Third had 8. Fourth had 6. Last week's had 9. We jumped
One of those
back
is
up.
probably going to be mine.
Yep.
Because I went and looked at it.
Now, if you add the shorts in, the two shorts for the first episode had 1.1 thousand and then 53. Second episode had 23 and then 799. Third episode had 873 and 682. Fourth episode, I was only able to upload one, and it only had 10. And then last week had 1,500 and 2,500.
Damn.
So,
It's my
people want to
business.
hear the ghost stories. Jacob, come on.
Oh, he gets to talk about Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, his other woman in his life.
Yeah.
Seven.
Yeah. I'm not.
He's not his prisoner.
All right, tell David.
Oh.
There's plenty of stories about her.
You can leave out details that you think shouldn't be out there and stuff like that, but give us the gist.
Okay. Well, you want to start with the prison ones first, or do you want to start with
Skinwalker.
the Skinwalker ones first?
I'll leave that up to David. When I brought up ghost stories, I was talking about the prison.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I'll
We
leave
can
it up to David
we
which
can
one
go
do you want.
prison, then we can go Skinwalker.
prison
Okay,
first.
prison the Skinwalker.
Okay.
Yep.
Prison, then Skinwalker.
There's
Yes,
not just Emily.
There. Okay. Where we're at, we have. Well, at the time, there was 3 facilities open here, and they each have 2 of them had 2, and one facility only had 1. But I'll start with my unit first. There's what we called the RU, which was Restricted Housing Unit, or SEG, or the whole, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
At the time when I first started, it was empty. There was no inmates in there. We didn't use it. We sent them to a different facility for that kind of housing. But we still had to do a fire watch in there. So we had to walk down the cells, make sure the doors were open, flush toilets, make sure there wasn't any leaks. And there was an AD range and a DS range. And the DS range was short. It had 4 cells on each side, and then the AD range had 6 cells on each side. And so it was only one person doing this walkthrough. We'd do the short side, then go to the long side. On the way back, the control room windows is mirrored, like you can't see through it, and it's like a just like you're looking at a mirror.
Reflection. Yeah.
And well, when you get down and you start walking back, if you look in the mirror, you would see something go from one cell to the other cell, like zigzag to kind of like get up behind you.
Right.
And it'd go around and it'd go to some cells and flush a toilet. So you'd turn around, go down there, nothing would be in that cell. And so I was walking down, and you see something pop its head out, and it was to the point where I wouldn't even turn around. I'd just watch it zigzag, and then when I get to the slam gate, I open it up, and I looked up in the mirror, and it was a little girl about 7 to 9 years old. What's the name of that one that I gave a description? What she looked like?
Oh, the kid.
Long black hair, white dress.
Or she crawls out of the
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Samara from The Ring?
Yeah. She looked like that.
But in like 70s clothes.
But yeah, it was like 70s-ish clothes. And I didn't know what else to do except for take 2 quick steps forward and shut the slam gate behind me. After that, I'd go in there, and she'd start to do her little thing. I was like, not tonight. And then she would giggle. I was okay. She never touched me. She never like harmed me. And she would try to entice us by rolling a ball to see if we'd play with her. I'm not doing that. We had one of our officers talk mad shit about her. like how he didn't believe she was real, and we're just making this up, and she could basically go pleasure herself. And well, we had two steel ball valve handles hanging up in control. Those things aren't going to fall unless you have to lift up on it to pull it off and do what you need to with it. Well, he was sitting underneath this while he's talking this shit about her. One of them falls 10 feet and lands on his knee. Yeah.
She did it.
We went over there, hung it back up, banged on the wall, and these are cinder block walls with concrete reinforced rebar in them. We're banging on the wall. We're trying to move. We even go over there and hit them with our hands, and they don't fall off.
Right.
And so some of the officers are like, "You told you don't need to be talking crap about her."
She wasn't aggressive.
She wasn't aggressive at all, unless someone was talking shit about her.
Tell what she did to those inmates.
Okay.
It was not aggressive.
It wasn't aggressive. She was toying with them. And one in cell 2, which is down at the far end of the range, there was 2 inmates in there, and one of them, the top bunk, thought the bottom bunk was taking his sheets at night, his blankets. So he decided to stay up past, and so he's laying there and he feels the sheet like you would grab it and tug on a bunk bed. Yeah. He'd feel that and he'd lean over the bed. It's like, hey, quit the shit. I'm trying to sleep. Give me my blankets. And in mid saying all this, he realized that other inmate is passed out. So he wakes him up and is like, hey, I told you to stop playing with this. And he's like, dude, you just woke me up. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, and him mid saying that, he starts to feel that tug. And they both look at their feet and they see the blanket wadded up like someone has it in their hands, pulling on it. And they're like, and by the time they didn't say anything, it just like that yanks it right off of them. These 2 grown men are banging at the door like little girls, high-pitched voices, let us out, she's gonna kill us, get us out of here, we need a new cell.
She loved to play pranks on it.
Oh gosh.
She would mess with them all the time.
We were like, there's something in here with us, we're gonna die. Like, no, you're not. You're fine. Because the officers didn't know what was going on. They thought they were beating each other up.
Uh-huh.
And, well, that woke the whole range up and started a whole other thing.
That little girl talk. You remember when you told her you wouldn't play with her and you said she just looked at you like she was about to strangle you?
Oh, yeah.
I got a question. How old's that prison, you know?
That prison, I believe, was built in 2010? It's not an old prison. I started working there in 2017.
Well, that unit got built.
Yeah, that unit specifically got built. It was the newest one out of the 3.
So if I had to guess, this is just me speculating, is that it was probably some old farmland.
It was native.
That used to have a house on it.
They had native, like, prayer tents in the facility for, like, natives. Uh-huh. So I think it was native. I think it had something to do with that. But I could be wrong. I don't know the history of the land.
Well, with you saying 70s clothes, that's why I was speculating farmhouse.
Yeah.
It could be. There's a large farmland out here, too.
But it's also on the old Air Force base.
Oh.
Yeah, all 3 of these facilities are on or are near No. I believe all three of them are on an old. I believe it's web.
Yeah, it
It's-
was shut down in like the 70s or 80s, didn't it? Airbase.
I think so. I believe it was Webb Air Force.
Because they
But
only have the hangars
Yeah.
and the base.
and the runways. But
Oh, tell them about the Night King dude.
no, that one's not too
He's
bad.
not evil.
No. There's at another facility, there is one that if you leave a door secure that was supposed to be secured at night, especially, it would go over there and like knock it against the wall or rock it back and forth where it'll squeak
To get attention.
to get an officer's attention.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there was one night an officer was doing his rounds, and someone forgot to secure the Class A tools, which are like knives and some stuff that can do some damage to someone or something.
Yeah.
And he was going through the chow hall, and he heard a door open and a door close, a door open and a door close. And he thought it was an inmate out of his, in an unauthorized area. So he goes running into the kitchen area and doesn't see anything. And then he turns around, starts walking the other direction, and then he hears it again. He goes back in there, and he just sees a door. When you see a door just slowly open and then stop, he saw that, and he was like, okay. He looks in there, and it was where they keep all the knives.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, okay.
I see a partial apparition another night.
Yeah. And then the night after that, or however, I don't know, however long it was, he saw something similar, but he actually saw something moving. He's like, all he saw was like from the waist up.
Right.
And he said he was by a door just swinging it.
How come you were cleaning out the down the hall in the training center?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
We were.
The prisons are shut.
Yeah, they're shut down because of.
You're not gonna.
Yeah. And we were in there working on.
Personal truck.
Yeah, we were doing something on my personal truck, and she went to the bathroom, so I told her where the bathroom was, and she gets back.
Like I was running down the hallway.
It was a good 150 yards to the bathroom.
Yeah, I felt something watching me.
And well, when she comes running through two doors,
they're heavy.
Yeah. Well, they slam. Like as soon as she comes through them, and they both just slam shut. Oh. And 10 seconds later, on that same door,
it
opens and then slams shut.
Something was chasing me down the hall because I ran from the bathroom.
Yeah. So and after it slammed, I heard like footsteps, like someone running the opposite direction from that door. So I opened the door, and I am running down this hallway, looking in every room I can, because I'm still hearing footsteps like they're running. Until I get to the entrance door of that building. And then it just stops. So I look outside, don't see anything. I'm walking back. I get back to where she was. I was like, I don't know. I didn't see anybody. I was like, I don't know what that could have been. But we'll just keep these doors shut and ignore it.
And then we heard banging.
And then, like, not long after that, I hear, like,
Something's banging on the garage.
Like,
door.
yeah, someone's just banging on the garage door because I was told that someone was going to come up there to feed the two dogs that they had running around. So I was like, oh, it's probably them. And I open the door, and there's nobody there. I'm walking around to see where they park. Don't see anybody.
Dogs aren't there.
Dogs aren't there. I come back in, shut the door, and then it's just like someone's walking down the side of a fence with a stick and holding it on the fence along the wall on the outside.
And there was no one there.
And I go running around. No one's there. Dogs still aren't there. I end up calling this person that was supposed to come over. I was like, hey, where you at? They were like, well, I haven't even left my house yet. I was like, okay, call me when you're here. That way I know someone's there.
That was a freaky day. And it was middle of the day, too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon when all that happened.
But you said a CO died of a heart attack in here, too.
I believe that's what I was told, yeah. Yeah.
Tell him about the nurse. That can you help me, girl?
Oh, no. Okay, at my unit.
It was the night. It was like 11 o'clock.
It was like 11 o'clock at night because we still had to do our rounds, even though they're closed, to make sure there's no homeless people or anything like that trying to squat or any groups or whatnot. And I was going around, and at my unit, there's a nurse there that wore a specific type of perfume. She was an older lady, and
okay. We're talking about like Chanel No. 5,
something like that, yeah. And
okay.
You said that, and the only thing that popped into my head was, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bombo No. 5.
And so, I'm walking through the way it's set up. It's the chow hall, and you go from the chow hall to like the inmate lobby, where the inmates are allowed to walk through, and then you got a steel door which goes down to the medical hallway, and then you got another steel door that goes to the admin hallway. And well, I get down to the medical hallway door, and I open the door, and I'm starting to walk in, and the door's shutting, and all of a sudden I smell that perfume, like strong, like someone just walked through there. And I stop, and I put my hand on the door. I'm like, hello, is there anyone there? And behind where their pill window was, where the nurse stayed, I hear,
yeah.
Can you help me? I need help. I'm like,
nope. Booked it.
I'm not going down there to help you. First of all, you need to come out to me. Nothing else was said. I slowly backed out that door and shut it. I was like, I'm not going down there.
He came home like 5 minutes later.
I'm not going down there. If I can't see you, I'm not doing it.
Especially because the woman that went and knocked on another door and tried to open it. Remember, you said that you were walking through the actual unit itself, and you heard, "Hello, can you help me?" And knocking just like
no, that she was trying to come out of the She was trying to come out of the door. She couldn't get the door open or something. And there was no one there because I just came from the entrance door and I locked that behind me. At one of the smaller units that we had, there was two different types of entities there. Okay. And from gate 1 all the way to door 4, which is where the entrance an admin.
Hey, that's a better.
Say that again.
I said, hey, that's a better angle.
Oh, hey, watch it.
Well, I think his wife was trying to show her ass on camera.
And
Got to get them views somehow, boy.
um,
Gotta get those
At this
views
point,
up.
I'm tempted to try it.
but from that, basically where admin is before you get to where the inmates or over here before where the inmates get their where they can't go. As soon as you walk through door 4, for some reason, right there in the educational wing was you could feel like a heavy presence, and it was to the point where I could feel something like right behind me, and it felt like where you feel warm on your neck, like someone's breathing, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna turn around. That's just walking down, and it got to I go do my rounds, and it got to the point where I was walking back up to door 3. Yeah. And to the point where it was really heavy, and I was just like, I just stopped, and I was like, you can leave now, because if I turn around, I'm going to be throwing a fist, and I will do one of two things. If I turn around and throw a fist and it hits you, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. Number 2, if I swing and it doesn't hit anything, I'm calling a priest. And it just got kind of heavier. I was like, I'm not turning around at all at this point. Because what was going through my head is if I turn around, I'm going to turn around and see this Darth Maul lookalike. And I didn't want to see that at that time.
I've had feelings like that before, being in places that you just like, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of ignore everything around me and just focus.
Yeah, it got so bad. I would have to put headphones in and turn my music all the way up.
It's funny how that works. Like, you'd be surprised. I do a lot of reading and listening to podcasts and people telling their paranormal stories and stuff like that. You'd be surprised how many people have these encounters with either ghosts or demons or aliens or whatever. And their instinct, like the story will be, oh, I woke up and saw this alien standing at the foot of my bed or this demon at the foot of my bed or whatever. And their instinct is to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, why? You know?
You said that they'll wake up and see that and want to go back to sleep?
Yeah, just instinctively just be like, okay, that's cool. Roll over and go back to sleep.
If I wake up and I see something like that over me, I'm getting my shotgun and I'm clearing my house.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Most of these people are like, that's the kind of thing I said all my life is, oh, if I see that, I'm blowing holes in it, yada yada. And then it happens to them, and they're just like, okay, back to sleep.
You know what I used to do when I go to bed? And this is especially in that house that's on the outside of Prescott. Because that room that I was in was, something was wrong with that end of the house, honestly. It's the only end of the house anything ever really happened in, but I would literally put the covers over my head to go to sleep, and then I would leave myself a little breathing hole so I'd get air in with my fan and just go out like that. I'm like, I don't want to see it. I just see the breathing holes, some air getting in. We're good.
Yep.
See, I used to do that too, but it wasn't necessarily because I was scared of seeing something. It was just I liked the way it felt to be completely enclosed in the covers, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
I did like what he was saying. I had to put some kind of tube or something that way. I had some cool air coming in.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Did y'all watch the episode last week?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
I've been moving.
Yeah.
Been moving.
Yeah, we just moved into
We moved into a house from an apartment.
Oh, nice.
It is nice. It's way nicer than that
a
apartment.
lot calmer than that apartment.
Yeah.
They were upset we left. Like they
Yeah.
were sad because we were their best tenants. But
Well, you know what? Nobody likes living in apartments for the most part.
especially here.
And they're building more. It's just like quit building apartments and build homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But where do y'all live at?
Near Midland.
Yeah.
Oh,
Y'all don't
y'all
have to
way
say
there.
y'all don't have to say the exact town on the episode if you don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, we live in
Yeah.
Midland.
Yes.
So we're West Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing but dust devils and shrub brush.
Yep. Well, you want to get into the Skinwalker? This
Should I
one
tell them
gives them
about the house
goosebumps
out?
every
Should I tell
time he
them about the
tells it.
house out there in Prescott first, though?
Oh yeah, tell it, fill him in.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, the last week's episode of this, we went over this. So, we moved to a house outside of Prescott when I was 13. Brick house. It was older. Family owned. Been there for a long time. Kind of give you the layout. It was technically a 3-bedroom house, but we were using it like a 4-bedroom. And so the den was being used as a bedroom. The dining room was being used as a TV room. So there's kind of like 2 dining rooms, which is weird, but had a sitting area in the kitchen plus the kitchen itself. And then off the kitchen, you went down, you went into a little hallway. First door, literally right in front of you, was my room. Second door, which is on the right, is the bathroom. And then the door at the end of the hall was the other bedroom in that hall, on that section. So when we first moved in there, I had the little room and everything. My stepsister had the big room. My grandmother had the room at the other end of the house, right beside the living room and everything. And then my dad and stepmom had the room that it was basically the den that they were using. So first instance I remember, Janet come running in one night. I was in there, the TV room with my dad and stepmom. Janice freaked out, and she had this picture board that had a little elastic bands on it to like hold down the picture. Something had come through and blew every one of those pictures off that picture board. Should have never happened. It's purely there. It means those pictures had to been bent back and basically pulled out.
Yeah.
Okay? Freaked out. I was like, all right, well, whatever. At this time, I wasn't real, like, she's probably just playing it up. Well, she's down at her dad and snack over, and her bedroom door is open. I don't know about yay much. It's just cracked. And I go use the bathroom, walk out of the living room, and I see something dark across that crack. I don't know if it went through the crack or just passed by the crack or what. freaked me out. Decided I didn't need to pee that bad. So guess what? I went back to the living room.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I haven't seen them.
So a little funny story that just popped into my head. To kind of lighten the mood before we get into the Skinwalker talk. As far back as I can remember, I've loved anything scary. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we used to every so often, we'd go to my grandparents' house, and they had a stock tank, and we'd do some fishing. You know, whatever we caught, we'd walk back up to the house, fillet it right there, and have a fish fry. Okay. And so we're sitting on the patio after eating. Some people are inside, some people are outside. And from the patio, you can see back into their field, down past the stock tank, all the way back to the tree line, which is the property line. And God, I had to have been 5, 6, maybe 7 at this point. And sitting next to my grandparents, and I'm like, y'all want to hear a scary story?
Mm.
They're like, sure. So I started off, okay. One time there was a boy. And right when I started saying that, I looked out into the field, and the neighbors had a side by side. And I just saw the side by side tail lights light up. And it was just two red lights. And in my head, it was eyes. And the next thing that came out of my mouth was, you know what? Why don't we go inside?
Damn.
That would freak Josh out.
Went to tell a scary story and scared myself.
But well, I'll finish off the haunted house for you real quick. So fast forward, stepsister moves out. I move into her room, and then she moves back in several months later. Moves in my old room, which is the little room, and then my stepbrother had come up to visit because my dad and stepmom were down at the boats in Shreveport, and I always laid back down before I went to school. So I get up, eat breakfast, take like a 45-minute nap, to lay back down. Well, they made me breakfast. I go lay back down, and I don't know if this was a dream or if I actually woke up for it. I still don't know. But either way, if it's a dream, I wake up and I hear a baby crying. Now, this is a spitting image of my room. Everything. Dresser, doors are in the right place, bed's in the right place, TV stand, window unit. I mean, it's perfect. Now, hear the baby crying. I know for a fact there's no babies in this house at all. Well, that's weird. Why'd I hear a baby crying? Then all of a sudden, my buddy John shows up, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Didn't say anything, and then he starts walking toward the foot of my bed and disappears. So I get up, and I'm like, "Where the hell did he go?" Get up, I go to the foot of my bed. At the foot of my bed, it's like a computer stand, but I had an old box TV in it, so you couldn't see anything at the foot of my bed. And I get there, and I look over to my left, behind the TV stand at the foot of my bed. There's this horned figure looking at me. Freaked me out. And it freaked me out so bad, I refused to sleep in that room for over a week. I slept on the couch in the living room. And the next instance in that house happened to my stepbrother. We were out and about. He was at home. He was in the TV room, right off my parents' room. And he tells us when we get home, because there's French doors, okay? They go into their room. That something opened up the one side that was unlocked on the French doors, wide enough for a person to go through, and then close the door behind it. So,
Kids closing.
Yeah.
and then this one I got told years later. This came from my dad. My stepmom, she's asleep in the bed one night. My dad's at work. And she wakes up, and the ghost is going scary movie on her. You know what I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Okay. And she thought my dad was home. Everything subsides, whatever. She called, and then I guess she heard something get up or whatever. She yells out for my dad. My dad doesn't answer, but she calls. She's like, "Where you at? You're just in here." He's like, I'm at work." "No, you're not. We just blah 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 blah." I'm like, he's like, "No, I'm at work." So
I'll be back. Y'all keep going.
yeah, that's a strange one
Yeah.
there.
While talking.
Yeah. Damn phone. Ugh. That way.
That way she can calm down. Yeah. You don't want to go.
Oh, little one giving you fits.
You don't want to sleep lately.
Yeah, she's been fighting her sleep. She keeps telling me,
Hold the little one.
my stuff's wet. You need to wash it. It's like, well, if you quit spitting your cup out all over it,
Her water, yeah.
and it wouldn't be wet.
No,
I'm not washing her feet again.
Yeah, no.
but now the next instance, but now this is just pure coincidence. Honestly, we can kind of put two and two together. So we're all out fishing. My grandmother lived with us at the time. And, we come home, and she's laid out on the living room floor, basically half dead. Yeah, rushed her to the hospital. She got blood clots in both lungs.
Ooh.
Now, weirdly enough, she hadn't shown any problems up until this time that we know. We all know blood clots do weird things; they just kind of pop up. But I found it weird with that house and all the paranormal instances that this happened.
Yeah.
Because we got to the hospital and the doctor said, "Hey, I'm getting rid of this medicine. You got about 30 minutes for this stuff to work. If it doesn't work, you might as well say your goodbyes," because she's croaking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A lot of strange things happened at that house.
We get a little transition outside now.
Yeah. We had to go smoke.
Let the kid calm down. You're
You got
bit.
you got one sucking on his penis, another one smoking a cancer stick. So
Person.
Every time he loses his vape, he still smokes cigarettes.
Yeah.
Personal electronic nicotine inhalation
There
system.
you go. My captain from the prison used to say that. First time he said that, he was like, "Oh, you sucking on that penis?" I was like, "What? Who's?"
Yeah.
I start looking around like, "Who's over here sucking on someone's packer?" Yes. Collins. And
Personal electronic nicotine inhalation system.
yeah,
Or a penis.
do it again, and he's like, "Yeah, he's doing it again." And I was like, "This?" He goes, "Yeah, that's a penis." I was like, "It's a vape." And then he told me that, and I was like, "I don't even want to vape anymore." I set it down to watch inside and finish my shift.
See, I told a buddy of mine at work about that, black dude, and he's like, "Oh, that's an interesting name for it." Do you prefer the black ones or? I didn't catch it, and I was just like, "Well, I mean, most of them are black, but this one and the one I had was just solid black." I was like, "This one's pretty good." He goes, "Yeah, I got a black one you can try."
Hey, once you go
Me,
black, you can't go back.
me, still not realizing what he's doing. I'm like, "Oh, you know what flavor is it?" He just looks at me, chocolate. And it was right then that I caught it. I'm like, "You motherfucker."
Oh God,
Damn it,
Jesus.
boy! Jesus, it's cold in here.
So you still working prison work, or you out of it now?
No, not now. When they closed down, 90. Well, I'll say 99% got let go. Uh, there's still a handful that work there. I went to work out where I am now when they let me go, and then they're like, "Oh, we got the marshals and ICE doing walkthroughs with some of the corporate guys from the prison." I was like, "It's looking real promising," and so I was like, "Okay." So put my 2 weeks in where I am now. Went back to the prison, and it fell through, and it got to the point where we couldn't afford it anymore. So I contacted my boss. I was like, "Hey, not working out. Can I come back?" And he's like, "Heck yeah." I was like, "Cool. Can I get my old truck back?" And he was like, "Well, now that you mention it, the person in your truck now is quitting
The day you're
the
starting.
day you're starting. So yeah, you can have your truck back." But no, I'm in the oil field now again.
Once the prison break back.
He makes it sound so exciting.
I,
He does like mechanic work on the pumps and
yeah,
shit like that.
we supply drilling rigs with 4x4 transfer pumps, floater pumps, trash trailers, light towers, rig soap, and then if anything goes wrong with those pumps, we have to go out there and figure it out or swap them out or
It's long hours.
yeah. I'm my days on. I have 15 days on and then 5 off, and on my days on, I'm on call 24/7.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm shut it. Ugh. And I'm salary.
His coworkers are pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Got a position that drives truck for about 90 grand a year. I'll come out there.
The oil field does.
Oh yeah.
They pay more than that actually if you have your own cow.
Yeah.
No, got my own cab. I'd have to go work for a company.
I mean, there's companies out there that they'll probably go off of experience and stuff like that. But
This is a huge trucking area.
yeah.
Oh, David is experienced. Let me tell you. All right.
Not as experienced as Dakota, though. I mean,
Yeah. He'll suck on anything black apparently.
I got
Yeah.
the twerking Toyota. That's how experienced I am.
Let's just say I have to babysit his dating profile.
That's bad, Dakota. You gotta have a friend babysit your dating profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Derek's wife.
Hell,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say this, and it is a huge compliment to him. And Dakota knows this. Jacob over here, I love him. He's not my type, and that is a huge compliment, isn't it, Dakota?
That is. Natalie has horrible
My
taste
type
in men.
is the world's biggest insult.
Horrible taste in men.
well, you know.
I will say, out of all of them, Jacob's the only one that actually has 2 brain cells to rub together.
I'm gonna tell Patrick you said that.
Fuck, I'll tell
Look.
Patrick that. I don't fucking care. That dude's fucking retarded.
Sounds like my sister-in-law and her ex-boyfriends.
Well, I say Patrick's retarded, and that's coming from a motherfucker that's got autism. So that's saying something.
Yeah, Patrick's his friend and my ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
Eh.
Patrick's your friend, Dakota?
Eh.
They used to be really tight. Like when Patrick and I were together, they were really good friends.
We used to, and then Patrick got involved with some people. And without getting too into it here, because this is not my business and it doesn't need to be put out there on the internet. He made a few choices and stuff that I cannot stand behind.
He's changed.
I cannot, in good conscience, support the decisions that he made.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and that's me putting it in the vaguest terms possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm perfectly willing to tell you the story off air.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spread that. That he doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put somebody else's business.
He's not
on the internet.
Bad guy. He just
No, he's not. He's not. I'm not saying he is.
Yeah.
He, like I said, he just made some choices that I, in good conscience, cannot support.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm walking away from it. You know.
Listen, I'd have to have a real problem with you for me to put your business on the air. And I got a boss I would do that to.
I'm not getting into that one.
I mean, the floor is yours if you want it.
we're not gonna tell
I'd rather not be fired from my job if they find it.
Deal. We ain't got to talk about it then.
But
Did y'all get into the Skinwalker yet? Did you get into the Skinwalker yet?
No.
Well, what are we waiting on?
All right, come on, Blind Frog Ranch. Let's hear about it.
Okay.
It's a great journey.
Yeah. Okay. There was a white, it's like a Great Pyrenees dog that we'd see during the day and at night. And I was living at my grandma's
Great dog.
time because when I got let go from the prison, I couldn't afford where I was at, and I didn't want to live there anymore. And so I was out there one night and just walking around, and I am a very I carry all the time.
Okay.
And so I'm out.
That hard American.
Yep, I'm out walking around the shop, come back around, and I see this dog that was not there before. Like 5 seconds of walking around to come back to the same where I can view where I just came from. Was not there. It was sitting in the driveway. And my grandmother lives out in the county. So it's not a short driveway, but it's not a long one either. And I'm looking, I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, well that's weird. It wasn't there 2 seconds ago. So I start walking around again, go basically backtrack. So I go from around, and so I go back around to see if the dog's still there when I get back to the other side. It's gone. Like, okay. So I start walking around the other way to go see if it walked around, and I noticed something under a plow that she had out there.
Hey, I'm gonna be listening, but I gotta turn my camera off for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And so I see something underneath it, like curled up, like a dog would sleep. And so I'm calling it, or I don't. Oh, sorry, I don't call it. And I start walking towards it to see what it is, if it's that dog or not. And well, this dog proceeds to, or what I think's a dog at that time, like come out from underneath this plow and start walking towards me. Well, this didn't walk like a normal dog. Like, you take its paws like a normal dog would walk, like this, and then you kind of invert them and make him where he's like bowed out in the front, and his back half is basically walking. He's walking crooked towards me, but it's really strange how he's bowed out like this, and then his ass end is basically by his shoulder. He's walking real crooked, and his head's all kind of twisted, almost. Like his ears are almost completely opposite, like pointed towards the ground. And it's probably like 15 to 20 foot away from me at this point in time.
Okay.
And, well, I draw my gun and take my safety off, and I was like, if you take another step, I will blow you away. I was like, don't step any closer. And what catches me is, dogs, if it's a dog, they don't understand really that much. And they'll keep coming towards you. No, this thing fully stops and proceeds to cock its head the other way. I'm like, no, you need to leave. Like, because I'm backing up at this time. Well, every step I take back, it takes forward. And so I get back to the barn and I go around the corner where I could still kind of see it. Pull out my phone and I called my best friend. I was like, dude, you need to get out to my grandparents right now. I was like, there is something out here that is funky. It looks like a dog. It ain't walking or acting like one. He goes, I might need backup just in case. And he was like, on the scared scale, from 1 being don't worry about it to 10 being I'm gonna die, where are you at right now? I was like, I think I'm about a 5. And he was with his girlfriend at the time. And he told me after the fact that after he got out there, he's like, yeah, I looked at her, I was like, we need to go. Like now. Bring your gun and my shotgun. He goes, he needs help. And she looked at him and was like, well, why? I was like, because he just told me he was at a 5 on the scared scale. He goes, this motherfucker doesn't go past a 3. He goes, if he's right there, we need to get to him. So within like 5 minutes, he was at my grandmother's house. But by that time, it was gone. Don't know where it went. And because we searched like for a good hour, and for something like that, we even looked it up and trying to figure out what it was, and it came out. What we were finding was it was uh almost like a dogman slash skinwalker.
Dogman is I don't know if David knows. Like, you know what a dogman is?
I've heard the story from you. Not really.
Think werewolf that doesn't transform back into a human.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that
Take a werewolf and then take away the transformation. That's a dogman.
yeah.
Osiris.
Yeah.
Saint Christopher.
Yeah, so that's what it was. The way like I was describing it from what we were reading, it was in uh like transitioning in from like in between that and a skinwalker because the way it was like deformed and walking,
Yeah.
and after that, I if I went outside there, I didn't have my pistol. My grandmother thought I was crazy for taking an AR-15 outside every time I went outside. And she's like, "Why you need that?" And because all my guns have lights on them, from my ARs to my pistols and shotguns. I was like, "It's got a flashlight on it. It's easier for me to look around." That's the excuse I give her. It wasn't the real reason why I took it out there,
Oh, she would have killed over.
but that's what I told her.
Here's my 2 cents. There's not many reports of skinwalkers in Texas.
No.
Doesn't mean it's not possible. Most of the reports of skinwalkers come from the Arizona, Utah, New Mexico area.
Yeah.
That general circle. But Texas is so large that if you look at a map and were to draw a circle around the majority of skinwalker reports, we're not that far. At least not where y'all are.
No.
We're only an hour and a half, 2 hours from
New Mexico.
Yeah. Not that far.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
And from Midland, you're what, 4.5 hours from El Paso?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but New Mexico kind of like
covers
comes up and then and they're
Yeah.
kind of like here. So it'd actually be quicker for them to get to New Mexico than El Paso.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Carlsbad, Portales. Yeah.
Yeah. That one happened at my grandmother's.
Hobbs is an hour and 44 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
My question is, why didn't you shoot it?
because I didn't want it to get pissed off if it didn't kill it. Because I had 8 rounds of 45 with me at
Bro,
the time.
if you can't drop something with 8 rounds of 45,
Okay.
that's a badass animal.
Exactly. And the way it was acting, I was gauging off of that. It was like, if I shoot this thing, will it leave? Will it
And that's
or will it try to maul me?
a common question, like with Bigfoot and stuff. Like, oh, you saw Bigfoot, you had a gun, why didn't you shoot it?
Yeah.
You realize how fucking big these creatures are?
Yeah.
This might be a little pea shooter. And then you take into account the supernatural aspect of it. If these creatures are supernatural, I'm talking about Bigfoot with that statement. Like a firearm is a great equalizer. It does not harm a supernatural entity.
No.
So if Bigfoot, Dogman, that kind of stuff, we know Skinwalkers are supernatural.
Yeah.
But if Bigfoot, Dogman, stuff like that are supernatural and not physical, then that gun ain't gonna do you a whole lot of good.
No.
Be silver.
Silver, and I didn't have any rock salt rounds, so that was out of the question.
I heard a story on a podcast. I forget which podcast. Might have been Paranormal Roundtable. That's another dude I want to get on. But he was talking about, like, he was relaying a story of a dogman encounter at a cabin, and like the dogman was standing in the doorway. The screen door was the only door that was closed. Okay, so you got this fucking 8-9 foot tall werewolf thing just standing there, and the dude's kind of standing in the hallway looking at this thing, and it's looking at him. And the dogman starts reaching for the door handle. Okay? So it knows what a fucking door handle is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And right as it grabs the door handle, he starts reaching for his rifle, which is kind of propped up against this dresser kind of thing. And right as he does that, the dogman just does this. Just.
Oh, hell no.
It fucking knew.
Yeah.
Actually, just.
That is not a physical fucking animal.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that.
And it's like it wasn't even scared either. It's just like, hey, that ain't gonna do you any good.
Yep.
So.
Well, listen, all I'm going to say is something like that shows up, I'm going to at least put 30-06 shells into it. And if I can get more into it, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is 180 grain and soft point. That's going to fuck some shit up.
Or 50 cal.
Yeah.
Put a hole in it.
If it can. Oh, did you ever see, Natalie, the video of the dude that went deer hunting with a 50 cal? Went deer hunting with a 50 BMG. His goal was to get a headshot. Just to see what it would do. Okay?
No.
So I'll have to find the link on YouTube, but he shot at this buck and he drops the buck instantly.
Well, yeah.
Okay? Expected. He gets up, goes over there, no bullet hole.
No head.
No, it had a head. He missed. When he played the video back in slow motion, you could see the bullet traveling. It went right past the buck's eyes, and the vacuum behind the round sucked the buck's eyes and brain out of its fucking skull.
Oh, that's kind of badass.
Killed it instantly.
That's a new way. Talk about a perfect mount, pretty much.
Yeah.
He fucking missed and still dropped the motherfucker.
Yeah, 50 cal will do that.
Yeah.
With a 50 BMG.
Like, why don't they use a 50 BMG for a safari rifle?
That's why. That's why. It's got that much power. Like,
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, you take a 50 BMG on a safari hunt, like, you don't need a 4-bore, a 500 nitro, was it? Or 700 nitro too, and that T-Rex, whatever it's called.
well, you look at the new 8.6 Blackout.
I'd have to look at that.
It's I'm trying to remember. So, you remember the specs on the round, Jacob?
I don't.
40-something millimeter projectile shoved into a 6.5 Creedmoor cartridge. 400-something grain. It is the world's first armor-piercing subsonic round.
Didn't Matt Carnegie
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy?
He's got a boombox, which is the rifle that's designed to fire the 8.6 Blackout.
Yeah.
The guy that designed it, he tested it out hunting water buffaloes in Africa.
He might be getting called out, so we might have to go in a second because he just.
All right.
Um,
That's the most difficult animal to kill, and he was dropping them 30 seconds after impact.
Oh. So how's this
So,
being called out? You said?
I say might be called out.
It's for tomorrow or Monday.
Okay. No, we're good.
oh, okay. What time you got to go in tomorrow?
He does
I don't go in until we get a call
on Sundays,
on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
and his coworker's back on tomorrow, so he gets first call.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
David looks like he's about to tap out.
Bro, I'm tired. So let me explain to you this. That's why I'm tired. So I get home.
Oh, I know why you're tired, but
Nah, no. Didn't go that fucking route.
oh no, I'm saying, not even joking. I know why you're fucking tired. I know the shit you've been dealing with.
Yeah. So, but anyhow, so I was taking the sister-in-law's car to the shop today. Ordered brake pads, tires, and all that junk. Get back home after we got breakfast this morning. I was gonna go lay down. Shop calls. Says, hey, the brake pads and rotors he brought us to put on, they don't fit. I'm like, what do you mean they don't fit? He's like, they don't fit. They're the wrong size. We ordered brake pads and rotors off Amazon. Now, probably first mistake, but went through the subscription, read everything. It says Kia Seltos 21 through 23 fits with manual brake. Okay? Doesn't fit that car. That or they sent us the wrong brake pads and rotors. So I had to get up, go back to town. So I didn't get my nap. Get the box that they come in, go to the shop, put them in the box, run to UPS, and return them so that she get her money back for her brake pads and rotors. And then we had to pay the shop. I hate buying parts at a shop. I'd rather bring parts, rather just pay for the labor. So we had to pay them for brake pads up front and on the back and one rotor.
Or you need to live down here where you got a buddy that's willing to help you do it your damn self and not pay for labor.
Bro.
A buddy that accepts a 6-pack of Shiner for labor.
Right. Well, I can do it myself, but the problem is I don't have a jack and I don't have jack stands. And I don't have the compression tool that I would need.
Oh, I don't have the compression tool either. You know what I got? Redneck Ingenuity.
So on her back brakes, it's not where you can take a C-clamp. The front brakes can take a C-clamp too.
Yeah.
Or some type of vise. But her back brakes, you have to have that special tool that locks into the brake caliper piston.
Yeah.
And it twists the caliper back.
See, when we did the brakes on my pickup, my truck, we couldn't get a C-clamp on them either. What we did was we used a board, hydraulic floor jack, and a crowbar.
Broke them off.
Works.
Yep.
We compressed them.
All right.
Redneck Ingenuity, my friend.
Well, you can buy that particular brake caliper tool. You can buy it on Amazon for like $25.
Well, yeah, and most of the parts shops you can rent it out for less than that. The problem was I went to all the parts shops to try to
Nobody
rent the
had
tool.
one at the moment because they're all out.
Exactly. We've got 4 parts shops in Seguin. all of them were like, "Hey, look, all of our compression tools are gone."
Damn.
How many motherfuckers need brakes in this town? Wait, never mind. I've seen some of you fucking drive.
Uh-huh. You know they're sober if they're going through the potholes instead of swerving around them at night.
Yeah. Yes.
The way our back's grown up.
I think that's why truck driving never really bothered me. Like, that was one of the big questions when I first went over the road. People would ask me every time I'd come home, "Hey, what state has the worst drivers?" And I would have a hard time thinking about it because I'd be like, nobody really seems that bad. I think it's because I'm used to the Seguin drivers.
Oregon.
And it's just Texas in general. Bro,
Hey, hey now.
bro. I'm sorry. But the drivers in Texas dude are assholes.
Yeah.
And
We have a right to be, though.
It's either killed or be killed in Texas driving.
That's right. You got to have a set of balls to live here, boy.
So
Right in the middle of the oil.
I tell all my students, I'm like, listen, you're gonna learn not to be so nice here before long.
Is that a
Mom
fact?
says Texans are so friendly, and we're really not. We're really not.
Oh, we're friendly. We're friendly. We
So
just
you
also
piss 'em
know
off.
we're better than you.
So you're
You
conceited.
ain't better than me, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Nah.
I'm not nice.
When was the last time your state won a war?
Your state actually lost the war at the Alamo.
At the beginning.
That was a battle, not a war.
Battle, whatever.
Fun fact, and let's get all three of your opinions on this. You know how big into history I am, okay?
What you get?
I have a theory, and me and a buddy of mine, not going to mention his name on here. I brought this theory up to him, and it turned into a full-on debate where we were getting fucking heated. Okay? If the Texans had won the Battle of the Alamo, I think we would have lost the revolution.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say
Think
that?
about it. Santa Anna was very prideful.
Okay.
He went into the Battle of the Alamo thinking he could not be defeated. Okay?
Okay.
He wiped them out. And that kept his pride up, which led to him falling into a trap at San Jacinto. If he would have lost at Alamo, he would have run back to Mexico with his tail tucked between his legs and come back even stronger, but without that pride that was ultimately his downfall.
Well, the problem is he's probably been killed.
I don't think so. The defenders were up against such great numbers, I don't think they would have had the ability to strike out of the mission. So unless he went into the mission himself, which he wouldn't have done until the battle was won,
Yeah.
I don't think they would have gotten a shot on him.
Yeah.
I have no evidence to prove that. That's just a theory I have.
I mean, you might be right. You might be right. I mean,
Now, if you throw in, let's say the reinforcements had reached the Alamo on time and stuff like that, and Fannin didn't fucking get stuck in Goliad jerking off, then maybe they would have had the numbers to strike out from the mission, but
yeah.
just the 197 that were there, I don't think so.
Yeah, kill off some of our history's favorite people.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
But I don't know. But
Well,
guys, I hate to do this to you, but I am going to conk out.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
you're good.
Blame me. Go get some rest.
I'll stop the recording, and if Natalie and Jacob are down, we can do another episode.
Right.
That's up to them
Today or tomorrow.
now, like while we're here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's trying to get caught up.
Quick break and then.
No, I'm not trying to get caught up. I'm trying to get ahead.
Well, you know what I mean?
That way I can take a weekend off sometime.
Yeah. I mean, he's known me forever. He knows what to talk about with me. He's known Jacob for a few years now.
Something like that, yeah.
We've been together almost 4 years. Known him for about 4.
But all right, Arkansas Dave.
Bud.
Be good, brother.
Deuces.
Good.
Got fun.
Underneath the stars, we shared a sweet embrace. Your laughter ringing clear in this quiet place. With the sound of the steel guitar playing softly slow. In a world where time stands still, I hope you always know. Hold me close, let the music play. So I'll sing here beneath the midnight sky. With the pedals still, it's you and I. In this country dream, forever we'll stay. With you in my heart, love will light our way. Memories of dancing in the moonlight glow. Your arms wrapped around me like a warm, gentle flow. With every note that's played, my heart starts to soar. In this 90s country love, I couldn't ask for more. Love's a song that never fades, so I'll sing here beneath the midnight sky. With the pedals still, it's you and I. In this country dream, forever we'll stay. With you in my heart, love will light our way. So take my hand and never let go. In this country, love will always grow. So I'll sing to you beneath the midnight sky. With the pedals still, it's you and I. In this country dream, forever we'll stay. With you in my heart, love will light our way. So take my hand and never let go. In this country, love will always grow.